That would be insane. And he'd probably get his face kicked off. Probably get strangled, probably get taken down, strangled, and he would be helpless.
Yeah. To like be a really, really, really rare person who doesn't take hormones and can perform like a 30-year-old when you're in your 50s.
You're 46 years old. You have to remember that. So give your body some rest. Rest right now is Manny Pacquiao's friend in between training.
Joe Rogan has reacted to Manny Pacquiao's new training footage, questioning Pacquiao's age. Rogan criticizes retired fighters making comebacks, similar to what Mike Tyson did, and warns that age plays a crucial role in combat sports.
He wasn't going to be there long.
No, man. He was, and you would see the look in the guy's eyes when they would see him across the ring, like, oh my God, what the fuck did I sign up for?
So exciting. When you were with him, when he was here, do you feel like this is still a menacing physical guy, or did you feel like...
Well, he's real nice.
Yeah, I know
he's a real nice guy, but he's still...
But does he still have that, you know, guys that were tough in their youth, you still feel that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oscar de la Hoya expressed deep concern about Manny Pacquiao's return, urging him to respect the limits of his age. At 46, the physical demands of high-intensity training can become dangerous, particularly in preparation for a fight against a younger, active contender. De La Hoya advised that Pacquiao pace himself and avoid overtraining, which could lead to injury or diminish his performance. While acknowledging Manny's legendary accomplishments, he remained cautious about predicting the outcome, stressing that at this stage in life, there are too many variables to confidently determine who has the upper hand.
You're 46 years old. You have to remember that. So give your body some rest. Rest right now is Manny Pacquiao's friend in between training, in between you know, sparring sessions. There's no shame in taking a day off or two, Manny. Trust me. Let your body relax, let your body rest. He'll do fine. He's experienced. He's got obviously the power, because it never leaves you. The speed I'm a little worried about, but I think, look, Barrios is a live dog. He's a world champion, and he's no slouch. So I think it's going to be a good fight. I wish Manny all the best. I'm not sure who's going to win. I really haven't seen Barrios, but I think Barrios, I mean, the youth is obviously, you know, with him in this corner.
Renowned trainer Abel Sanchez recognized both the ambition and the danger in Pacquiao's choice to face a top-tier welterweight like Mario Barrios. Sanchez emphasized that this is not a bout against a middling opponent, but a clash with a reigning elite fighter who is in his physical prime. However, he did leave room for unpredictability, noting that legendary examples like George Foreman prove that age-defying victories are not impossible.
To tell them to hang him up, he's older, he's been out of the ring, he's fighting I'm not gonna say a young champion, but he's fighting a very decent champion, probably the lesser of the three of the welterweight champions, but he is getting up in age. Will he be able to recapture some of that speed and snap to his punches? Who knows? But George Foreman did it at a much later age. So Manny has a chance. I think that he has a chance against a good champion.
Do you feel like with Mario Barrios in particular, then it's a champion they've targeted because in his last performance he didn't really, you know, set the world alight. It was a draw, and he's left a few question marks around himself.
Not only that, the other thing is Norman is a very good fighter, and so is Boots. I mean, you're talking about two very good fighters that are, I think, on a different level than Barrios is.
Do you feel like that this could be the risk where, let's say, if Manny was to have success, was to become champion again, then he then looks at it and thinks, oh, can I go on a run? Can I get one of these other names?
That is a big risk, but I don't think that would be the fight that. Well, those two wouldn't be the fights that they would be looking for. I'm sure that if Manny is fortunate enough to be in great shape, and listen, Freddie's a master. Freddie will figure out a way to win a fight that's winnable, and maybe then guide him towards other defenses.
Critics have turned their attention to Mario Barrios, questioning the legitimacy of taking on a fighter more than a decade his senior. Many argue that Barrios has a number of viable opponents closer to his age and competitive level, and that defeating a retired legend won't bring much respect. The sentiment is that victory over an aging Pacquiao won't elevate Barrios' profile, but instead might damage his reputation for taking what some see as an easy win. In the eyes of many, the matchup lacks competitive integrity and benefits neither fighter in terms of legacy or ranking.
Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao are in talks for the WBC welterweight title fight. They want to do it in Vegas. Pacquiao is 45 and hasn't competed since August 2021 in a decision loss. Mario Barrios is definitely trying to stat pad at this point. In a stacked welterweight division, you can fight Crawford. If you don't want to fight someone who's coming off a W, fight Spence Jr. Go fight Jaron or Stanius, Fight one of the top 4 fighters. You're ranked top 5 and you want to fight Manny Pacquiao. That's stat padding. That shouldn't even count as a win. And I love Manny Pacquiao, but I mean, in his prime, he would definitely beat Mario Barrios, but it's past his prime. Hasn't fought in 3 years. Is 45 years old. It's time to hang it up, bud. I will say, though, if he somehow miracle pulls it off, it'll be the greatest win, I think, in my opinion.
Shane Mosley, himself a former great, praised Pacquiao's resilience and unmatched accomplishments, but warned about the harsh realities of age. While recognizing Pacquiao's strength and grit, Mosley pointed out that stamina, speed, and reflexes naturally fade with time. Going up against a fighter like Barrios, who is not only younger but also actively competing, presents a serious challenge. Mosley acknowledged that even the greatest fighters can be caught off guard when time catches up with them.
Manny Pacquiao coming inducted into the Hall of Fame next month. What is your take on that, having had to share the ring with him?
It was a great time. Like I said, I was injured when I fought him, but it was just good. It was being another great, and very sharp, very strong, and it's so real.
Well, what's your take on him fighting Mr. Mario Larios next? I think it was July.
Youth sometimes can be hard on you, but we'll see what Manny can do as far as the training himself to be able to keep up with Mario. So, if anybody can do it, but maybe Manny can. I don't know.
A wave of worry has spread among boxing analysts who fear the risks Pacquiao is taking with this comeback. Concerns have intensified to the point where some are suggesting the WBC intervene and prevent the bout altogether. The combination of age, inactivity, and a younger opponent with knockout power has raised red flags. Analysts speculate that Manny might not just lose but suffer a knockout, which could have long-term health consequences.
So Manny Pacquiao is going to get knocked out by Mario Barrios. And I get it, Mario Barrios is far from a good fighter. Mario Barrios is one of the worst champions in all of boxing, but Manny Pacquiao is so old, bro. I think a lot of you guys forget Manny Pacquiao fought last year and he arguably lost to a Muay Thai kickboxer dude. This dude wasn't even a boxer. Yes, he was really big, but the dude was just not a boxer. Honestly, I think the WBC should call this fight off. I think it's not too late to kind of go back on your word and let's call this one off. This fight should not be sanctioned by anybody. This fight should not be allowed. At least Mario Barrios should be stripped of his WBC title for defending it against a 46-year-old. Is there a slim chance Manny Pacquiao is able to outmaneuver him and maybe outpoint him, punch, around him? Yeah, maybe. But realistically, it won't happen. But if he does, I think it will solidify him as the greatest boxer of all time, no questions about it. I think if he does win this fight, it would put him clearly over Ali, Ray Robinson, Ray Leonard, and Floyd Mayweather. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on how y'all feel about this fight.
From a purely physical standpoint, Mario Barrios holds distinct advantages that cannot be overlooked. He is not only significantly younger, but also naturally bigger than Pacquiao. These physical attributes translate into greater reach, fresher movement, and enhanced durability, key factors in a high-stakes boxing match. While experience favors Pacquiao, the sheer athletic edge that Barrios enjoys adds an unpredictable layer to the contest.
So breaking news, Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios is official for July 19th in Las Vegas for Barrios' WBC welterweight title. After 4 years off from pro boxing, Pacquiao will try to become the oldest active world champion in boxing at 46 years old and one of the oldest champions in boxing history. Now, this fight has been rumored for quite a while. They tried to make it last year after Pacquiao had an exhibition with Rukia Anpo, but they were never able to finalize a deal. But earlier this year, they re-entered negotiations and they finally made it official now. Now, in terms of the fight itself, Barrios, he's going to have a huge age and size advantage. The guy is 29 years old, right in his physical prime. He's probably going to weigh around 160, 165 pounds on the night of the fight. Whereas Pacquiao, like I said, he's 46 years old. He won't weigh over 145 pounds on the night of the fight. And Barrios, he's just going to try to stay behind the jab and the straight shots and use that youth to win in the fight. Now, what I will give Pacquiao is he does have a huge IQ advantage, and Barrios' defense didn't look that great in his last fight. But still, the age is the main factor, but you guys let me know. Are you excited for Manny's return, or is it too risky at his age?
Pacquiao's age and inactivity have raised serious alarms among health professionals and analysts. Having been out of the ring for several years, his body may no longer absorb punches the way it used to. The brutal nature of boxing leaves no margin for error, especially for aging athletes whose reflexes and endurance have declined. Past examples show that retired fighters who return often suffer devastating consequences, ranging from concussions to long-term neurological damage.
Because what's the worst case scenario? Someone gets seriously hurt. Someone has like life-altering injuries, and that could happen in boxing. We've seen this. Manny Pacquiao isn't immune to this. He's been knocked out. He's been hit. He's not Floyd, who has been hardly hit. Like, he's been knocked out cold. I thought when he got knocked out by Marquez, I thought he died. It was that scary.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
So I do.
Ultimately, I'm most surprised that if it hasn't been officially announced, if it lands in Nevada or California, I'll be very surprised and dare I say disappointed.
There is no doubt that Pacquiao's name is etched in boxing history as a living legend. His record of titles across 8 divisions remains unmatched, and his legacy is already secure. However, his choice to come back and challenge younger fighters has raised eyebrows. Many believe that rather than enhance his legend, this decision might risk tarnishing it. Given his long absence from professional competition, critics argue that there's little to gain and much to lose.
Common sense, like being a world champion means you are the best in the world. You are the champion of this world at your weight class. We all know right now, at least to me, it's common knowledge that that's Jaron Boots Ennis. At 147, he is the best in the world. But he doesn't hold all 4 belts, so he is only one of the 2 or 3, I guess now, world champions. It doesn't make sense to me, and especially when now you're the WBC and you're like, yeah, let's bring in Manny Pacquiao to potentially win a world championship. And let's say he pulls it off by some miracle. Are we going to put Manny Pacquiao in there with Boots Ennis? Is that what we're going to do? I hope not. And again, this is not me trying to be a hater. It's just, I don't want to see Manny get hurt. And Barrios, not the biggest puncher in the world, but he can hurt it badly. He is a volume puncher, and he will be in there against a guy that, again, isn't a natural 147. Even if he finished his career at 147, that's not where Manny was his best self. He's definitely going to be at a massive size disadvantage here. Height, reach, everything. Again, when Manny was in his prime, or, honestly, when he was still in his late 30s and early 40s before he retired, he could have handled that. His speed was still there. The consistency was still there. He wasn't running for political office and doing all this other stuff and taking time off. We see this time and time again. When a boxer retires, takes a long time off, and then comes back, it usually, again, outside of George Foreman, rest in peace to the GOAT, it usually doesn't go well. And I don't think this is going to either. And it's clear to me that this is done for, a staging of an event versus the actual competitive nature of the fight. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong and that Manny still has it, but I'm just going to go with what makes the most sense. The WBC and whoever they partner with on this is going to try to sell tickets off of it. Okay, that's fine. But what's the point of the belt if this is the match? What are you saying as the WBC to all the actual contenders that you have ranked at welterweight for this belt?
A section of the boxing community has gone as far as to say that Pacquiao's return undermines the sport's credibility. These critics argue that this fight, while featuring a legitimate champion and a boxing icon, resembles more of a spectacle than a true sporting contest. Comparisons to entertainment-driven bouts like Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson have surfaced, painting this event as more commercial than competitive. The concern is that such matchups dilute the value of legitimate title fights and mislead fans into watching what may amount to a lopsided exhibition under the guise of elite-level boxing.
It's 100% disrespectful. This is a clown fight. This is a more clown fight than the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. This is an outrage. People should be up in arms about this fight. This is so disrespectful. Barrios loses this fight. He should quit boxing. You let Manny Pacquiao, an old dude who stopped boxing, and then you're his first fight back? You are disrespectful as a champ.
Carl Frampton delivered one of the bluntest takes on Pacquiao's comeback, calling it a mistake and labeling the fight a joke. His comments reflect a sentiment among former professionals who understand the physical and mental toll the sport takes. Frampton's warning was that Pacquiao could suffer damage far more serious than a loss on his record. The concern is not just for the immediate danger inside the ring, but also for the lasting impact such a fight might have on his legacy and well-being.
It's a joke, really. There's a thought, it's an absolute joke. I love Manny Pacquiao. Love everything about him. an all-time great in terms of what he's done previous, but that doesn't entitle you to just walk back in after 6 years and get a number 4 ranking with the WBC and fight for a world title. What about all the other guys that are waiting around? It's wrong. We seen Manny Pacquiao fight an exhibition against a kickboxer in his last fight, and kickboxers can't box, right? I've seen world champion kickboxers coming and sparring boxers. They can't box. They can kick, but they can't, and they can kick and box a little bit. They can't really box, and Manny didn't look great. I mean, yep, I don't know. The WBC, I think they have a lot of time for him, Richie O'Sullivan, but I think it's a mistake, really do, and they should be quite embarrassed allowing a 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao straight in for a world title fight.
Despite many assuming that Pacquiao's return is financially motivated, he has firmly denied that money is the driving force. He points instead to his deep love for boxing and his commitment to inspiring others. He has highlighted his track record of giving back through various charitable efforts, reinforcing that his purpose extends beyond personal gain. According to Pacquiao, this comeback is about chasing a final, historic victory rather than cashing in.
So Manny Pacquiao is taking on a challenge against Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios currently holds the WBC World Championship of the world. Now, a lot of people are saying that Manny Pacquiao is only doing this for a payday. And recently I saw an interview where he said that he's donated over $1 billion to multiple charities. Now, if that's the case, you guys just sound dumb as hell, because that just means, 1, this man's balling, 2, this man's generous, and 3, a lot of people been looking up to the wrong role model, because you see people like Mayweather, the richest boxer of all time, right? Buys a $30 million watch and then flexes it on his own fucking fans. Meanwhile, Pacquiao is doing the people's work, all right, man? This man's fucking trying to be president. I think he is president of the Philippines or something. He's just pulling in his weight, and he's just trying to go for GOAT status, you know what I'm saying? He got, his old coach coaching him in the corner again. Honestly, I do feel like it's going to end in a tragedy, though. I feel like Mario Barrios, depending if he's nice or not, will end Pacquiao.
Jesse "Bam" Rodriguez took a firm stance in favor of the younger fighter, expressing doubt that Pacquiao could withstand Barrios' energy and power. While respecting Pacquiao's incredible resume, Rodriguez underscored the realities of age in high-level boxing. He believes that Barrios' youth gives him a significant edge in terms of speed, endurance, and adaptability, qualities that matter most when fights go deep into the rounds. Rodriguez even suggested that the fight could turn into a one-sided affair, with Pacquiao taking more damage than he can handle. His remarks add to the growing list of voices cautioning against this risky return.
I think Mario is going to go out there and just put a beating on Manny. I think Manny's a little too old, but I mean, he's a legend. He really did what he did, so I really don't see a reason for him to come back. But if he wants to get in the ring with Mario, then I guess Mario has to show him that he has a youth, and Manny Pacquiao should have just stayed retired.
Yeah. I mean, that's what a lot of fans are saying, and are still kind of disbelief. But even looking at social media and the fans, they're thrilled just to see him back. So just to have him in the ring, and fighters at that age are not competing.
I think that just says a lot about the type of fighter Manny Pacquiao is, the stardom he has. I mean, he's 46, 47?
He's 46.
And people are still excited to see him fight. So, I mean, that just says a lot about him and what he's done in his career. So, like I said earlier, to see a friend I grew up with fight Manny Pacquiao is going to be pretty cool. And it's the same night. So, it's a huge night for San Antonio boxing.
This matchup has stirred significant debate across the boxing world. On one hand, supporters see Pacquiao's experience, legendary toughness, and tactical brilliance as assets that could lead to a stunning upset. On the other hand, detractors compare the fight to spectacle-driven events that prioritize hype over genuine competitiveness. References to modern novelty bouts suggest skepticism about the fight's authenticity. However, the involvement of a name like Pacquiao ensures attention and curiosity. The bout may be divisive, but it has undeniably captivated public interest, even as it raises uncomfortable questions about age, safety, and purpose.
Yes.
You got Manny winning?
No. Against Barrios?
Yeah.
No, I think every great fighter got one great fight left in him. That had to be Thurman. And Manny, I think Manny seems to want to... Manny appears to be like how Bernard and Roy were. Like, he's really one of those great old school fighters where you got to he's got to go out on his shield.
Yeah.
Going out on your shield used to not mean just in any given fight. It used to mean that's how they went out, period, fighters. And Manny's like that.
I do not want to see...
It's really hard to see Manny Pacquiao losing to Mario Barrios
because of who they are, but who they are now, you know?
Sean, I do not want to see like Manny on the knee, mouthpiece out. That's going to hurt me.
Kevin McBride, Mike Tyson.
That's going to hurt me. That's going to hurt.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.